does your boom mount on?
Oh, the boom. It's just it's an angled mic stand.
Has it got a weighted base or is it a tripod?
Tripod.
Okay.
Tripod. I wish it was weighted, to be honest with you.
I've got a kick drum mic stand with a boom that I could probably use, and I believe it's a weighted base. It's the one that fits into the hole on the front of the kick drum.
Oh, that
So
should.
it's got a weighted base, and it goes up, and then it's got a boom. So I think that would be perfect for it to sit on my desk.
Yeah, that would be nice. Those boobs, those little tripod boobs are good, and they don't take a lot of space either.
Yeah.
Oh, orange juice in the morning.
That's a screwdriver, dude.
OJ and Tito's, man.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
you put tequila in there?
No, Tito's vodka, bro.
I didn't know Tito's made, but I thought it was just tequila.
Nah, vodka.
Tito's makes tequila too, right?
I'm not sure.
I could have. I swear to God, like maybe I'm blacking out, but I swear to God, Tito's made.
So wait, there's vodka. So it's like a pre-made orange juice and vodka.
Yes.
No, I'm just doing OJ and dumping a bunch of vodka in it.
Oh, okay. That works too. Shit. That works too. Shit. You guys anything interesting this week?
Yeah. Not to spend too much time on it, but I had to laugh when I saw it. So, because we talked about, I think either last week or the week before, about like, you know, when we used to have like Big League Chew and candy cigarettes and stuff with Ice Cream Man, and I just happened to be at this little shit-stained gas station, and I looked to my right in the candy aisle, and there's these fucking, I didn't even know they still fucking sold these goddamn things. So I had to fucking pick them up.
King's
and of
Candy.
all places, I believe they're made in, I think they're made in Colombia. They're literally made in Colombia. And so, like, yeah, and I had no idea that they were even. I didn't even know it was still legal to sell these things because, you know, it's like marketing tobacco to children kind of thing, you know. And it's like, holy shit!
Do they still have that great chalky taste though?
Oh yeah, they're. It's like, oh dude, look at this shit.
Are they still lit on the end of it?
Yeah.
No.
It's just
like
a stick now.
It's like a white piece of chalk.
That was more.
Literally looks like fucking chalk.
That was like a poorly rolled joint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I remember back in the day, the tip of it used to be red.
It used to be red. That's
Just
right.
go into elementary school with the fucking candy hanging out your mouth.
Thinking you're a little badass, you know. If it was a cold morning, you'd like do that, and then you like blow the air out, you know, and like as if you were smoking, right? Like, and gee, I wonder why I became a fucking smoker, like as a teenager, right? Thought I looked so cool, right?
If you were a true badass, you would put it in your sleeve, in your t-shirt sleeve.
Yeah, roll it up.
Yep.
Right? Roll it up.
Flick the hair back.
Yep.
It's kind of like I look right fucking now. You mean?
Yeah, right.
He's doing it.
Smoking.
I still got. Oh, I did. I got it. I still got it.
There it
Still
is.
got it.
Oh, you got to do it sideways, man, not up and down.
Oh, we look like my grandpa in like 1950 after he got back from the fucking war. Like,
That's how they Tucson, I guess.
that's how we do in Arizona, right?
I remember the first.
When I started smoking in high school, which I didn't really start, it was just like, I don't know. I would buy a pack of cigarettes and it would last me until I remembered that I had them, and then they were stale and I threw them away. But like, just like always, I started early, going 100%, man, into whatever it is I'm doing. Camel no filters was what I smoked.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I used to like the. I started very slowly. I smoked a little bit as a freshman, a little bit more as a sophomore, but then I got into wrestling. So sophomore and junior year, I was in wrestling. So I every once in a while would have a cigarette, but not. The hook didn't go in until I got my high school sweetheart smoked, and that was when I actually became addicted to cigarettes. So I was about 17 years old. It was after wrestling season. It had ended, and I remember I pretty specifically remember when the hook went in, because I remember the first couple of years I was addicted kind of sucked because fucking for a while I wasn't even 18. I wasn't old enough to buy them. So I was like, I'd be sitting there like having like a Nick fit and like fiending for a fucking cigarette or something, and I didn't have the means available to get them. And then once I become 18, like the gloves were off, and I didn't quit until fucking last December. Like, so I was from 17 until a month shy of my 40th birthday, I was smoking, and yeah. Yeah.
I remember the first cigarette I smoked. I actually took it from my stepdad, and I was smoking it out the window. And I remember seeing his car coming up down the street, and I remember throwing it out the window and it landing into the trash can.
Oh no!
Yeah, it didn't catch on fire. I don't know how, because it must have been like 70 something degrees that day. Which, by the way, it's 71 degrees out here today. I can't believe it.
Beautiful.
And yeah, I'll never forget that. And then there was a time where actually I went cold turkey.
Yeah.
And I stopped smoking cigarettes for, I want to say it was 2 years, but I think realistically it was about a year and a half. And then I started smoking again, and now I can't stop.
Yes, you can.
Well, no, I definitely could. Nicotine is definitely very addictive, ladies and gentlemen.
It was the toughest thing for me to quit, man.
Yeah.
And fucking like I was on hydrocodone, I was on a lot of pills and stuff, and I quit that easier than I quit smoking.
Oh
So
shit!
any idea like the actual addictive degree that nicotine brings to the table? I didn't really smoke, like I said, until probably really started smoking after I got back from Afghanistan, and it was really just a way to calm myself down, because at the time I was having anger issues, which I never have. I've always been real even-keeled when it comes to like temperament, but I wasn't, and it was weird. It was freaking me out, and so I started. I was smoking Camel Wides because it made sense. I got a big mouth, might as well get a big cigarette. I get pissed off about something, I'd sit down on my tool bucket, because I was doing carpentry at the time, and I would just smoke. Just even doing that makes me want to have a cigarette.
Well, I'll tell you what. Even I haven't smoked. I've taken a couple of puffs since December. There's been a couple nights at the VFW where I'll take a puff or whatever. But I have not smoked a full cigarette since December. But I know I keep plugging it, but I still use these. So I still have not completely cessated from nicotine. I just am not smoking anymore, and that was like my first step, was like, get off the cigarettes first, then we'll worry about fucking the actual nicotine addiction later. But these are a lot easier for me to, I guess, control my intake, because I can go half a day without using these at all. Yeah. And I think there's days where I'll go until late in the afternoon before I even think about it, and that's a lot better than having smoked like 5 or 6 or 10 cigarettes by that point. You know what I mean? Like, so it's helped me a lot. It's helped me a lot as far as getting rid of that particular bad habit. So yeah.
Shit. Well, on a healthier note, I have to tell you guys about the products that my cousin-in-law, is that a thing? Like cousin-in-law? That exists. Yeah.
He'd be a cousin.
Yeah. So my wife, my wife's cousin, during COVID, little backstory, she was actually stuck here. She lives in Hawaii, and she was stuck here for a while. So it was a great time. My wife had family over, and the one thing about New Jersey water is that it fucking stinks.
Really?
Yeah. So what
does it smell like?
It's
why does water smell?
It's like a 2% like sewage smell, I would say. And it's a weird, like, New Jersey water is like very, very weird. Yeah, I know it sucks. It's disgusting, and it smells. It turns you off. You
gotta cook with that shit, like.
You always boil it and stuff like that, and this has been like you
have to boil your water in 2021.
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm pretty sure there's a lot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who don't do it, but we here in the Sanchez compound, we boil the fucking water, and
as you go farther out west though, and you get into more like some of the rural areas, way out in the sticks, I can see it, because out there they might not have a lot of the facilities for like water treatment and stuff like that. I can kind of see that if you're like way out in the sticks, like you are literally next door to one of the biggest cities in the world, and you're telling me you got to boil your fucking water.
Yeah, and I may be making a big deal about it, but
no, not really.
I'm the kind of guy that tastes different water in different water bottles. So we were blessed this week with 2 really cool fucking items from her cousin from Hawaii, and it's I showed you a picture of it, the big water filter thing. You get to drink water out of it because it's like a process to get the water, clean enough and perfect enough. So I'm excited to taste that. But this other package that came in from the same company called Berkey, we were gifted with a water filter shower head.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it's got like the beads in there, the filter beads and stuff like that, and the pressure. I have, like I was telling Jay before, I haven't had pressure like that since like 1996. It was God, it felt so clean. Like it was perfect. I love water. Water is essential to our life. What is it? 80%, 70% of our body is filled with water.
Yeah.
So when I came out that shower, I just felt great. I was like, you smell clean. I feel great. So it's nice. So people, look into it. Berkey, Berkey. It's.
Check it out, man.
I can't believe a fucking water filter shower head.
That's pretty sweet.
That's incredible, man. And you fucking take it off and take it wherever the hell you want. And like the whole most of it's like actually ceramic and it's heavy as shit. But boy, does it do the fucking job.
Do you know about how much it costs if I were to buy it?
About $300.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
got it. That's a nice hookup right there.
Yeah. So cousin Valerie from Hawaii, thank you so much.
Time to swallow the homies good night.
Yeah.
Cousin Valerie, hook a brother up.
Yeah, hey, let me tell you, one of the coolest things about cousin Valerie is that she's a big Depeche Mode fan. And that's something that so that's something that and me and my wife, we were just talking about, if they were ever to come back out there, we're gonna go see them play because that's one of our favorites. So that was always like a cool thing that we always got along with Depeche Mode and music. So it's always cool, to have that positive energy around, especially these days when a lot of family members in whoever's life don't bring a lot of positive energy.
Yeah.
That's Depeche Mode is a blast from the past, man. I know. Was it last week or the week before? All 3 of us were just nerding out on music, and we spent like a good portion of the podcast actually just talking about music, and it was good. There were good conversations, but it's funny, I'll sit there like at a jukebox at a bar, and it's like you've got this like catalog of music in your head and good music to listen to, and then it's like you get up to the jukebox and all of a sudden you're like, now I don't remember anything that I like anymore. It's almost like when you're trying to make a grocery list, right? Like, and you end up at the grocery store and you're like, I don't even remember what I like to eat anymore, right? And you're just like, you start just like picking random shit out of the frozen aisle and like, whatever, this will work for dinner tonight, this will work for lunch tomorrow, like whatever, right? Like, maybe the same thing with music.
The rest of the week you spend looking at all the shit you bought and go, I don't want to eat any of that.
I make a little. It's basically just like a goulash. I get like a box of rice, like a 4 cheese rice, like from instant rice or whatever, and then a Polish sausage, like a kielbasa basically, and I'll dice up the kielbasa. I make the rice. About the time the rice is done, I pan fry the diced kielbasa, and then I just throw it in the rice, stir it up, and that's a dinner, right? I've got like 5 kielbasas in my freaking freezer right now, like just frozen, like because I haven't made that meal in like a couple of months, but basically at this point, I'm like, I need to thaw those out and make them, otherwise they're gonna get freezer burn.
Man, I'll do kielbasa just as a meal in itself. I'll just cut it in slices, pan fry it, throw a little garlic and butter in there, and eat that. Man, I love kielbasa.
I love garlic and butter. And
my dad was big on it when I was a kid, not so much as a teenager, but when I was a kid. And then when I became of age, I started making it on my own. And I remember, and then I started I figured out one day to, they have those boxes of rice where comes the flavor package. So you make the rice, you boil the rice, and you throw the flavor packet in, you stir it up, and it's you throw some diced kielbasa in there, and it's there's your carbs and your protein right there. You know what I mean?
And while you're making that shit, you're probably listening to some good tunes too.
Yep.
Like in that situation, I've been a subscriber for XM Radio for years, And
I've got to get on the freaking like Spotify or the streaming train where it's like you can download music, and then if you don't have internet, if you're like driving somewhere, you don't have internet, you can still play the music on your phone. It's like I've got to get on that train, dude.
Get with me after the podcast. I've got space for one more person on my family plan for
really
for my YouTube music family.
Platinum. That's nice.
Really?
Yeah.
How is YouTube music?
It's great. I love it. It used to be play, but Google and YouTube are kind of the same thing. So they kind of got rid of Google Play and they brought everybody into YouTube Music. So it's always a you get used to your music app to go, I don't know, I had to go to another music app, but they made it a lot more seamless of an operation. So
that's interesting because I use Apple Music, and it's just
I know we've talked about it before, but it's like I still have like my CD case, right, from back in the day, and my car still has a CD player, which is fine. But there are places, I take road trips with my girls, my daughters. There are places where you will not get any service, or the service is not going to be good enough to utilize YouTube or the internet to play your music. And
sucks, yeah.
And that's where like some of these streaming services, like Sean's talking about, it's already on your phone. You basically just press play and it's already there. And it's like, I just never got on that train. And so
I've got tons of music that I have loaded from the actual app, where if I'm in airplane mode for whatever reason, or if I'm flying or whatever, no signal, plenty of options. It takes, like, if you're on Wi-Fi, it's like that to download an entire playlist.
Mm-hmm. That sounds phenomenal.
Hey,
I appreciate that.
That's really cool too. And while we're on it, follow us on Spotify, so you can listen to our playlists. Actually, there are no playlists, but there will be.
Where else are we?
We have Mortal Kombat just came out yesterday. I'll give you guys a spoiler-free review. Hey, you know what? We've been waiting for a Mortal Kombat movie for a very long time.
An R-rated Mortal Kombat movie.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'll give it to them. They got it off.
Good.
Visually, it's gory. The fight sequences are fantastic. There's a nice little they threw in some MMA flavor in there, which is really fucking nice to see. Characters, amazing. Character costumes, perfect. The new character Cole Young, he's a bit to get used to, but we also have to remember, if you look at every single Mortal Kombat game, there's always a new character that everyone's just like, whatever, and there's some crazy cool lineage about that character, and he is in a movie perspective that new character.
Okay.
They do a really good fucking job. Now let's get to the negative.
Okay.
Well, one more thing for the positive. Green screen. There's a lot of green screen, but they do such a good job incorporating physical sets into the green screen that it actually looks really good. Almost kind of look like Mandalorian style filming.
One of my favorite things, especially I want to say starting with, I think it was Mortal Kombat 2. It was literally the second one on Super Nintendo. Was the backdrops in the game?
Oh, they're in the movie.
They would just spark your imagination. Like what is this landscape? What is this place that they're at? Right? And it would just spark my imagination. Like I could write like a story about it. Right? Like just being in this place where there's like a giant portal opened up in the sky, or whatever. Like pick your level that you're fighting on. Right? In those games. And they just spark your imagination, and like that sounds really cool.
Yeah,
like that.
And your satisfaction gets quenched, when you're looking at it in that view, because, you're paying attention to the fighting. Phenomenal. You're paying attention to the fighting because that's what you're there to see. But then if you stop and take a second and you look at what's going on around, you're like, holy shit, I recognize this. This is from Mortal Kombat 2, this map, or this is from, it's all over the place. And, the producers and the filmmakers did a good job to make sure that it was honored. Everything was honored.
Now, where did you see it at? How did you see it?
HBO Max.
HBO Max. So did you watch it on Amazon? Is that how you?
Oh,
do it?
So I think we have HBO Max through Hulu. But what's actually really cool, I didn't want to like sit down and like have my neck, looking up the whole time. So my wife watched it on her PC, and I actually watched it on mine. And we used this watch party app called Cena, which is pretty good, So it worked. It did its job. And now we get to the bad stuff.
Uh-oh.
Let's hear it.
The acting, it's not convincing.
Damn it.
Yeah. But this is for the non-Asian actors. No, the non-Asian actors, they do a good job embracing who they are in the film, like Sub-Zero and Scorpion and oh God, who say that again?
That I love Scorpion and his get over here.
Yeah, they everything that you want in the Mortal Kombat movie, they give it to you. The acting could do much better. I would assume that with more experienced or like a star-studded cast, it may have worked with the acting, but they looked like their characters.
Yeah, but if it were going to be a star-studded cast, it would just be anher Marvel movie.
Absolutely.
They have all the stars right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Well, and you got to think too with movies like this, regardless of anything, when you got a movie like Mortal Kombat, we're not exactly expecting Oscar-worthy performances here. It's a movie about
action,
fighting, and fatalities, and I want to see some blood.
I want to see somebody pull the spine out of somebody.
Right. I want to see like just a graphic depiction of a gruesome and horrific death. Right?
And they give it to you, man. I mean, I lost count of how many fatalities were in the movie, and they're all amazing. They they don't look. Some of the graphics look a little cheesy. Some things, but most of it looks really good. Another negative thing to me is the movie's about 100 minutes long.
It was pretty short.
Yeah, so there's about 8 characters plus, and I don't think that you can to me when watching this, they're starting the story in the middle of something, like shit has already went down.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of plot holes and there's a lot of story before this that they need to fill in for more character development, in my opinion, because there was too many characters to build each one of them.
Right.
Like this actually felt more like a sequel than it did the first.
That might not even necessarily be a bad thing.
No, not at all.
There's movies where it used to be a thing with Marvel movies back in the day. It's not so much anymore because of how far the Marvel Comics universe or cinema universe has come. But it used to be every time they'd have a superhero movie, they had to go through the whole fucking backstory, how like the origin story, and it's just like, dude, come on, like. I came here because I already know who the fuck this is. Like, can we not spend half the movie, with the origin, and just get into like what it's me. So like I'm talking about the Punisher, right? Like, so like the Thomas Jane, what's that? Yeah, right. The Thomas Jane movie was a really good movie. Don't get it twisted. I love the Thomas Jane Punisher movie, right? But they spend like the first 30-40 minutes of the movie getting into his. You don't really see the Punisher until the last scene of the fucking movie, and it's just like, God damn it, dude! Like, can we not do that this time? Can we just go into an actual fucking story with the character? And that's obviously the Marvel Comics universe in the cinema universe did that over time. They developed all those different movies, to where by the time the Avengers movie came out, you already knew exactly who the fuck everybody was. They were already established, and by the time Infinity War came out, that was like. Everybody knew exactly who everybody was, and there was a lot of inside jokes, like with the different movies that had come out, and it was fun to watch, right? And maybe that's not a bad thing, John. Is like that they just started halfway through already.
They started right in the middle, and it was cool. There was lots of that's it with the negatives. Yeah, like what my favorite character that I have to say in the movie was Jax.
Nice.
They dive in slightly to him and Sonya's special forces history, which is real. You know, if you're a fan of the game, you know who they are. You know, they go through a really cool backstory with Jax, and Jax had probably my favorite short character development in the film, but it worked. The movie as a whole worked.
They have his powder coated arms.
They do something really cool about his arms. I can't remember if they changed the origin of how he got his arms.
Oh, okay.
Which you can see in the trailer, and if you haven't seen the trailer, I'm not going to be the guy to ruin your day.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And but they go through this. You know, it's not instant. It's not instant with him, and that's what I liked about his character. You know, he did a really good. You know, that actor did a really good fucking job, and I just love that they incorporated him being in the U.S. Army.
Oh yeah, and so speaking of special arms. Maybe that's a good segue, because don't you also have a review for us for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the season or the series finale?
You know, there is so much to say about this. There is so much to say about how it ended, but I think I don't want to say that they went political on this, but I think they went deep on this with this episode, and when
maybe quasi-political.
I'll take that, quasi-political, but it was on the side. It was a side that you wanted to hear. You know, it was something that you wanted to hear, and I think that with the running theme that they've been showing on the show, it worked really well with how they ended, and it's important to kind of sit back and realize, like, you know, maybe this shit is kind of fucking meta in a way. If you think about it, you know, maybe they're subliminally telling us that this is what it's supposed to be, you know. And I think it's kind of cheesy sometimes when shows do that, but you know, when you're looking at something that's supposed to represent a character that people see as the American hero, when you're not looking at Superman, you know, I think they did a good job honoring that message.
Okay.
You know,
I'm looking forward to. I'm caught up. I just haven't seen the last episode. I was a little tied up yesterday, so I didn't get to check out the series finale.
And I took a lot of time to really think about the Flag Smashers too, and the one character leader, Carly Morgenthau. And I recently found out that there's a whole storyline with her that was cut out from the show.
Really?
And that the thing that kind of kills it for me is that after I realized that so much of it was cut out, that there was no character development about her. We don't know anything about her. Sean, you watch WandaVision?
I haven't. I'm so much.
Skip it.
For anybody watching real quick, like, these guys are on it. They're on it. They watch all the stuff that, like, you know, you would think anybody interested in comics and gaming would be watching, and I get on this podcast and they're talking about stuff, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, now hold on. Let's be fair though, because
you've been busy.
Where you don't watch TV, I don't game nearly as much as I probably should on a gaming podcast. Right? Like I game, but I'm the exact same as far as like actual time spent on a control with a controller in my hand on any game is probably way lower than it should be for me being on a gaming podcast, right? Because that's just we're busy guys. Like we have lives, and we I know you and me, Sean, are very similar. We pick and choose pretty carefully, like how we spend each minute of our day. I'm institutionalized, man. Like, I don't have time to waste. I'm like, if I have X, Y, and Z to get done today, I get X, Y, and Z done, and whatever comes after that, you know, I'm very picky about what I do with my personal time. And a lot of days, I don't even watch TV. You know, I might do whatever else, and just I get it.
Just figure it out. Yeah.
I've also, and this is something that I'm sure a lot of people in especially my age bracket, if I'm in my early 40s, but I think that we can identify with is that I am more of a nostalgic gamer than I am like a cutting edge gamer. When the new games come out, I'm immediately suspect, and I'm going, like, is this a lot of fluff, and then everybody's like all excited about it? It's actually a shit game because there's a lot of those that come out where all the time, because everything's downloaded now. Like, you spend all this time downloading the game, you go through all whatever, and you get on there, and it's bullshit. But nostalgia-wise, I still love, like, for example, I just recently went back to Red Dead Redemption. I've been playing.
It's a classic. It's a classic.
And man, I love the play. I didn't finish it when I first started playing the second one, and so I just went back, started over, and I love that game. I love Skyrim. I love, like, the reason why I like Cold War better than I like
Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare.
Can't even remember it anymore.
Yeah, no. It was so big, like, because I like Cold War better, I deleted it off of my hard drive, and now I've got like a half of a hard drive open that I can download whatever. But
I actually got a conversation about that.
So I wanted to tee you up for something. Also, this is my whole point of talking about this, and so I like Cold War better because the graphics, in my opinion, at least, they open up the map a little bit more, so that, like, when you see the other team popping up here or there, it's a little bit more realistic in a way. It doesn't feel the same as Warzone. It feels like I don't know. It's just better. It agrees with me a whole lot more. But I am a more nostalgic player. I get something that I really love, and I'll hold on to it, and I'll keep it, and I go back to it because I enjoyed it so much in that moment, and I don't know.
I actually agree with that, though. I agree with that 100%, though. Like, because it's just like we all have different play styles, so we have to find something that that adapts to us.
Yep. This morning I told you guys about this, but for the people watching, I went to a coffee shop this morning, my local coffee shop, sitting there sipping my coffee. And there's these two dudes at a table nearby, and they're going on and on. They're really excited about this game. I didn't catch what they were talking about, and so I started eavesdropping on the conversation, because I knew they were talking about gaming, and they were the type of dudes that you look at and you're like, yeah, they game. Like, you just tell. Kind of like pasty white skin, slightly overweight, like they were balls deep in like the lingo and all that stuff, kind of jabbing each other about, why do you got it on that setting for? All you got to do is go and change the setting. And so I asked them what they were talking about. They were talking about the show. So the show, according to them, is a game of games when it comes to baseball. I haven't downloaded it yet. I've seen that John has been crazy about it, and my other friends have been playing it too. I haven't. Now I've got room on my hard drive. I'm going to download that. I also, back to the nostalgia thing, downloaded GTA 5 because it's on Game Pass. I haven't started it yet, but I will. So
squeezing the juice out of the orange. So yeah, so the show. I've been talking about this literally probably for months now. How I've been waiting for this game for maybe about 15 years. The last time I played a baseball game was a proper baseball game was 15 years ago, and that was for the PlayStation 2. There was like other cartoonish games called Super Mega Baseball 1, 2, and 3, which are all great games for what they are, fully customizable fun. But Xbox did not have a full-on baseball game for years. RBI Baseball fucking sucked. I bought it, $20, got my money back the next day. So fuck it. The game was completely unplayable. Fuck that. But the show, and I'm speaking so highly about it because a lot of if my Xbox hard drive has NHL 21, NBA 2K21, NBA Live 21, and Madden 21. I love sports games, but I'm not gonna sit there and do like the My Team and all the other special shit that's in it. but I'm here sitting in this baseball game, and I have incorporated myself to play every single game mode in there. And I'm going to start off with regular exhibition. Dude, it's so insane how you're playing the game, and like, you get a bite to eat, but you don't, you're not able to play at that second. You just press the X button. The game plays for you while you're eating your spaghetti, and you watch it like a baseball broadcast. It's fantastic. What the career mode? It's called Road to Glory or something like that. It is so, the AI is so intense in that shit. For example, my baseball player sucks. He can't bat for shit. So the AI gets into this characteristic where if I'm constantly swinging at balls, it'll constantly throw balls at me, thinking that that's all I'm going to swing at. But then if I start getting into the hang of it, he'll start throwing more strikes, or they'll actually start throwing trick shots where they'll do like 2 balls and then a strike, another strike, and then walk me. The AI is very intense. Fielding is fantastic, and you can actually make some really. I got so many double plays recorded that I got to post them up because they are insane. Character, like, just they look so fucking real. It just looks so fucking real. You see the sweat coming off them. The bats are breaking. What? And then the home run derby, which you could play online, and it's in 3 rounds. The home run derby is so crazy that it tells you where you're going up. I think right now the record right now, and I just have to say, in my first 10 home run derby games, I made it to the top 500. I'm no longer there anymore. But what is so cool about it, that it's a tournament, and there's actually league rankings for the home run derby. And I think right now the furthest home run is 583 yards, or 583 feet. 500,
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Yeah, 583 feet is the record right now on the in the rankings, and I'm gonna beat that. I'm gonna fucking beat it.
You can do it.
I'm at 483 right now, so I'm almost there. 43, and then I have to get to my favorite mode, the Diamond Dynasty. I'm gonna when we're done here, I'm gonna post some screenshots of my team. The Diamond Dynasty is probably the greatest mode in MLB 21 or any other game I've ever played, like, at all. And I'm going to tell you why. You get to create your own baseball team. You get to create the uniforms. You even get to customize it as much as the lettering and all that stuff. So my team are called the New Jersey Veterans.
Nice.
And the other cool thing about it is that you get, you collect these baseball cards, and it could be anybody. I got Roberto Clemente and Tony Gwynn on my team.
Hey.
Just Tony Gwynn. Right now I'm on the road to get Jason Giambi. He's my next. I'm trying to get him. But we're almost there. So with these custom teams, you collect these packs. So. And I'm a sucker for classic baseball stadiums, and my favorite baseball stadium is in the game from like the early 70s. It's called the Polo Grounds. It used to be a football field for the Jets and a baseball field for the Mets and the original New York Giants. Yes.
That was the original New York Giants played at the Polo Grounds.
Yeah, it's an apartment complex now, but you have to collect all the classic stadiums, which has my favorite New York Yankee Stadium and Shea Stadium's in there, but all these classic stadiums in order to get the Polo Grounds. So I think that's a really cool aspect, and you could actually set these stadiums as your home stadium in Diamond Dynasty. And then the best part, you could play against other people who have their own teams with their all-star players and all that stuff, and play against them online. And if you don't want to play online, you could play against them as a computer. But beware, if they got like Mariano Rivera, Wade Boggs, for some odd reason, is probably one of the best players in the fucking game.
Wade Boggs was not a slouch.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't a slouch. But this one game I played, every time Wade Boggs came up, he hit a home run. So I'm just like, holy shit.
It'd be a hole in your pitching game there, sir.
My pitching game is actually intact. Not against Wade Boggs.
Not against Wade Boggs.
But overall, I think the game is great. The Xbox Series X version actually has a build a stadium mode, which is actually like pushing me to be like, oh fuck. I think.
Now you're thinking about getting the new console. We literally just talked about that, I think, last week.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, like I haven't seen the game yet. That makes me want to get a new console. I'm waiting for that game. You know?
And this one, and this is great. And the first exhibition game, I had to do it. The Royals and the Yankees.
Oh, hey, going back to the late 70s, early 80s rivalry. That it was for a while. That was a rivalry in baseball, believe it or not. Like the Royals, before money took over, Major League Baseball. The Royals were an expansion team in 1969, but by the going into the late 70s, they had built a hell of a team, and they used a fairly common concept in baseball, but they developed their farm and their minor leagues so that every time they would lose somebody, they basically it was reload instead of retrain. You know what I mean? They were just reloading from their minor league system. And in the late 70s, the Yankees and the Royals went to 3 straight, American League Championship Series. And this is before they had the division stuff. So it was the Royals versus the Yankees in 76, 77, and 78. The Yankees won all 3 times. And this is back in the day of George Brett. For the Yankees, they had guys like Goose Gossage, Reggie Jackson. The Royals finally beat the Yankees in 1980, and then we turned around and we lost the World Series. And then we won the World Series in 85, and it was kind of a very slow decline and into a catastrophic nosedive after that, after George Brett retired from the Royals.
What was his name? Kirk Gibson, am I right?
Yeah,
yep,
for
Kirk
the Dodgers.
Gibson.
Dodgers? Yeah.
It was Yankees, my bad, I'm sorry.
Well, no, I know. I think Kirk Gibson did play for the Yankees at one point, but his famous baseball moment is hitting the game-winning homer in Game 1 of the 1988 World Series. Yeah, there you go. Oh, fucking dude! If you go, it's you can watch it on YouTube. You can watch the whole at bat on YouTube, and you can see how bad that dude's knees were. He was literally he was hobbling. The dude's knees were shot to shit. But for that one moment, he came through. Yeah. And he made it happen. And
it was the Elway retirement Super Bowl victory.
Basically, the dude's just dragging his broken ass out for one more round, and he actually won.
Elway has no cartilage in his ankles.
It doesn't surprise me.
Holy
shit! It doesn't surprise me. Mm-hmm. Does not surprise me.
I almost forgot. There is another mode in the game called Classic Mode, where it plays with the same graphics from the Sega Genesis. Well, the same gameplay from the Sega Genesis days, but with the graphics of today.
Huh. I gotta say, John, it's fun hearing you talk about this and be so excited about it, because I'm not gonna lie, I think the last baseball game I played was Ken Griffey Jr.'s Super Nintendo baseball game.
Yeah.
And that was we're talking we're encroaching on almost 30 years. It's been almost 30 years since I played a baseball game on a video game. And
the last time I played a baseball game, this is kind of how the voiceovers work. So, you would make your own character or have your own team or whatever, and so the commentator would say, "And now batting for the Yankees, the player is up and blah blah."
Trust me, it's not like that anymore, because every time I come up, it says my fucking name. Yeah. Coming up to the bat, and my name is in the game. Finally, my name is in a fucking game. I can't believe it. I can't.
Badass.
And so to go back to what those gentlemen were saying at the coffee shop, is this the pinnacle of baseball games? Yes, it is. And I don't want to hear, oh, there's no comparison. Yeah, there's 2 games that compare to it. And we're talking about RBI Baseball, which is fucking terrible, and Super Mega Baseball 1, 2, and 3, which are great games for what they are because they're more cartoonish. But the show, welcome to the Xbox family. We're very happy. But and what a slap in the face. As soon as you start the game, the first thing that comes up is Sony PlayStation Entertainment, which is I think that's fucking hilarious. But come find me, guys. Wind Talker. Also, it's a cross-play game, so if you're on PlayStation, come see me. I may not be able to back it, but I'll make sure you won't even score a run. Come see me, New Jersey veterans. You don't want to fuck. You don't want to fuck with Tony Gwynn or fucking Roberto Clemente.
You need to get Wade Boggs on your team, I think.
I do need Wade Boggs on my team. I would love Wade Boggs because he's a Yankee. I want all Yankees on my team. All Yankees.
Wade Boggs was a fucking Red Sox guy, dude. Like, no. Let's not play that game. Like, I remember being a kid, and like there was like it's like famous footage. It's like when Wade Boggs was like crying in the dugout because the fucking Red Sox lost the World Series in '86. And it was like Wade Boggs, like seeing Wade Boggs like cry.
Shaped for adult life.
Dude, well, this was back before the Red Sox broke the curse. You know what I mean? And it was like,
yeah.
You know, you're talking about like it was you know, I don't know, like maybe it's me looking through history, you know, at history through rose-tinted glasses, but. Growing up, I was very big into baseball. Huge Kansas City Royals and especially George Brett fan. I saw Bo Jackson play. I saw Randy.
Oh shit!
I did. I saw Bo Jackson play. I saw Randy Johnson pitch when he pitched for the Seattle Mariners at Royal Stadium. What it used to be called Royal Stadium. It's called Kauffman Stadium now, but I still call it Royal Stadium. I've got a lot of really good memories related to baseball. I played baseball for 10 years. Actually, funny story about that. You're talking about double play footage, right? I played Little League, and, you know, when you play for years and years on end, you know, you tend to get, you know, if you keep playing, you know, you get better and you get good, right? Well, there was this kid on my team is a friend of mine. We actually went to the same elementary school. We ended up on the same team in Little League. And this was not T-ball. This was like freaking, you know, when the kids were pitching to each other, you know, at this point.
That's what I was. I was a pitcher.
I had a buddy playing shortstop, and so we were at this point. You know, the kids are pitching. You're allowed to lead off. You're allowed to lead off as far as like, you know, you can steal bases basically at this point. So this was not like you know beginner level baseball. This was like we were getting to like the medium levels, right? And this kid hits this screaming line drive to my buddy. And he's on shortstop, and the kid on second, there was runners on second and third. And this kid is a screaming line drive right at my friend. He catches it, immediately tags the dude leading off second, and then runs straight towards third base and does he slid head first with his glove and freaking hit third base, and he got an unassisted triple play.
That's fucking crazy.
An unassisted triple play. Like. Dude, it really was, because this was not like T-ball where like half the kids don't know what the fuck they're doing. You know what I mean? This is like like it was bad because it was a close game. Like whatever other Little League team we were playing, like it was probably like scores probably like 2-1 or 3-2 or close game. They're in scoring position. And he got an unassisted triple play, and I'll never forget that.
And I have to add into that because when I was in the Little League, I don't know how many baseballs hit me in the face, bro. Like straight up, I knew I would never forget this one kid, Victor. He used to sit with me in the 3rd grade, and me and him didn't like each other. And he hit me in the face with a fucking baseball. I'll never fucking forget that shit. He hit me so hard, and I didn't move. It
was. Well, you know, because I'm left-handed, so I was always first base or pitcher. You know, like those were my 2 main primary positions because I'm left-handed, and so I was playing first, and I just remember watching like the morale, you know, like drop. Like when they had runners in scoring position, you know, we were only ahead by 1. I don't remember the exact score, But when he got that unassisted triple play, the game was over. And like our morale like went through the roof, and the other team, they were just like, yeah, like they thought they were gonna win because like whatever, you know, they were batting like top of the order. It was like their second, third, or fourth, you know, cleanup hitter was the one who hit it to them. So like they thought they were gonna score. They thought they were gonna take this game, and I think we still had 2 or 3 innings to play still, but it was over. It was over, and we ended up winning the game. And I want to say we scored a couple runs after that, even because freaking after that, like they lost the fight. You know, like all the fight went out of them when that happened, and it was. I still to this day, we're talking, and this is well over 30 years ago now. Like I was probably maybe 10, so maybe about freaking 30 years ago, right on the money maybe. But yeah, like I was. I got beautiful memories of baseball growing up, like, you know. So
the one I have a really. It's a funny memory to me. On my birthday, in the Little League, the Babe Ruth League, I played for Union City Trucking, I think.
Nice.
And I'll never forget, we were in practice. It was my birthday, and my baseball coach was teaching us how to swing a bat. And, you know, knuckles lined up, tight grip. He swings the bat and he hits me in the fucking forehead, and I flew back 6 feet. And you know, it was a hollow bat, little league bat. They don't weigh that much, and he didn't swing it that hard. But I remember I flew back. I remember his reaction, like, "Oh shit! Oh, I just hit a kid in the face with a baseball bat." Oh man, yeah. But some of my funnest times were in baseball.
I was. Just for the record, I played baseball for 2 years when I was in elementary school. The first year, I did get a hit, but it was always a foul. Like, I never got one. If I didn't hit a foul, I mean, I would strike out. I'd never get. Second year I played, I had gotten better. Like Jay, being a lefty, I was the relief pitcher, and I played first base. And I did much better. Like, I got a hit, and I actually got on base, but I never got to score. I was just not good at base. I enjoyed playing it more than I actually was good at playing it. Because it's this weird difference between baseball and football. Because I played football primarily, and I've always had, athletically, I've had more heart than I have talent. So in football, that matters. Football, you can put your heart out there and make a difference. Baseball is very technical. You can have all the heart in the world, but if you can't hit the ball, you can't get in play, man.
Right.
Football, you can sacrifice your body to make a play. You know.
That's right. What you just described was over the course of 10 years, and my dad was really good at helping me and practicing with me, and he paid for me to go to clinics and stuff when I was in Little League, and I got pretty good at I got fairly good at baseball, and I stopped when I got to high school, and I know a lot of people, like I had a good buddy of mine who actually, when we were in middle school, he came out to watch me play in Little League, and when we got to high school, he's like, "Dude, why did you not go out for the team?" So and so that was one of our peers in our age group. He's like, so and so is on the freaking team. Like you were way better than him. I watched you play. You're way better than him. And what happened was I got burned out. I'd been playing baseball. I'd been playing literally for 10 years by the time I was 14, 15 years old. And I stopped having fun. And so it didn't matter how good I was at that time, in my life. It didn't matter how good I was. I wasn't having fun anymore. And then what you just described, Sean, I went over to wrestling. And wrestling is also very technical, but when you don't have the experience, I had all the heart. I had all the heart in wrestling. I had the heart in wrestling. I had the bulldog attitude, but because I had not wrestled very much, I was still learning. And I got I guess decent. I got decent at a base level, at a foundation level of wrestling. I got pretty decent, but I was not good enough to really make a mark on the mat. You know what I mean? Like when it was just me and somebody else, I wasn't really that great because I didn't start wrestling until I was a sophomore in high school. You know what I mean? And even in Arizona, you had kids that had already been wrestling for 3 or 4 years at that point, minimum, if not, more than that. And So yeah, I wasn't really that good of a high school wrestler, as athletic as I was, and my heart didn't count for shit because freaking like when you don't even know the hold that you're being put in or how to escape it, like guess what? You're staring at the lights and the referee goes, and you're pinned,
Yep.
right? It is what it is.
See, I wish I got burned out from it. My shoulder pops out. That's the reason why. That's the reason why I stopped. I was a pitcher. I loved it.
My athletic career ended when I started playing guitar. So 10th grade, first year that I didn't play any sports because 2 years prior I had started playing guitar. And my 9th grade year of football, this was the year before I stopped playing sports, I actually quit during the season because by the time I got home, I just had time for homework and go to bed, essentially, after practice. And I didn't have time to play guitar except on the weekends. And so I went to the coach and I was just like, I love playing guitar and I don't get to play. And I'm sorry, but I'm gonna quit. And he did not, because I was a starting linebacker, and I also was a starting offensive lineman. I played both sides. The only break I got was on kickoff and kickoff return. So, really good blocker. I always was good, even when I was playing Pop Warner football. I was always a really good offensive lineman. I could fire off the line, and I would get underneath their shoulder pads in the front, and I would push it up underneath their chin, and I had total control. It's almost like having somebody in a clinch.
Yep.
I would ram them up under there, and then I could push them if the ball was going that way, or push them back, whatever. I was always really good at that. And as a linebacker, it was the heart thing. Like I would be, granted, I was a missile, but I was a slow launch missile. But
when you hit,
if I could see which way the backfield was moving, like I would go that way and try to cut them off. And man, I had so many stingers on my shoulder because I would go as hard as I could go and hit the ball carrier. And I remember one time I hit this guy. It was an open field tackle, but it was like the Red Sea just opened up in front of me. And I see the ball carrier coming toward me, and I went through. He tried to run through me, and I tried to go through him, and we hit each other. Bam! It was so loud, and we both fell off to the ground, and you could hear both sides of the stadium go, "Oh!" And we both laid there, and both of my arms were like tingly numb, and I couldn't even move my arms. And I was like, "Oh my God!" And I finally got up, and it took like 2 plays before I could like get good sensation back in my hands. It was crazy, but
that's awesome though. That's a moment.
And he talked me into staying the rest of the season, as coaches have a tendency to hype you up, good coaches. So I dealt with it, and then after that, I never played again, and it was all guitar for the last like 30 years.
I'll tell you what, Sean. As far as I love football. I love football. I really, really do. But if you weren't going to try to go all the way with it, it's probably better that you stop playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Football, great sport. I've said it a couple times in this podcast, and maybe it was for the better. I don't know, but football is actually what kept my dad from going to the Vietnam War. Both my dad and my uncle were drafted, but my dad got classified as they called it 4F, 4 Foxtrot, and it was because he got his knee blown out playing high school football. And so his little brother, my uncle, his little brother went to Vietnam, and my dad was not able to go because of a high school football injury. And so it's one of the football is a sport that is not nice to your body. It's not. There's nothing nice that football does to your body. Same if you go to higher levels of wrestling. There's certain sports out there that just tax the fuck out of your body, and football is up there because of the impacts, because of the constant running, because of the constant change of motion. You're stopping on a dime and trying to cut somebody off, or you're trying to do this, that, or the other, and then you're getting 200 plus pounds just driven into you, or you're using your 200 plus pounds and driving into somebody else.
Yeah.
You're talking about it's impact. It's a lot of impact. You know what I mean? And it's not healthy.
Yeah, I mean, look at the developments of CTE. Look, I mean, which controversially, Jake Paul is saying that he has traces of it.
Yeah, I saw that.
But look at football. I'll always think that football is the highest contact sport.
By far.
Because hockey has you got all that padding.
And hockey used to be maybe close, but they changed the rules in hockey so much that it's not like that. Like it's not these aren't the Gordie Howe days of hockey.
Yep.
And they're not even like the Wayne Gretzky. We're not even playing the Wayne Gretzky days anymore. It's like hockey's a little bit different nowadays than it used to be. It's still fun to watch. It's still fun to, and they still get after it. They definitely still get after it.
Oh yeah.
But it's not like it used to be.
Yeah,
it's not like it used to be.
And then you got baseball, which doesn't have so much contact, but it's so entertaining.
Only if there's a play at the plate.
Yep. When the fucking when the benches get cleared, that's when the excitement starts.
Yeah. But then you see all these like overpaid athletes who have no idea why.
Yeah.
Each other. It's so funny.
Have you noticed that none of them, if you look at all of them, none of them have ever decided to grab a bat or a mitt?
You would get banned from the league. Like that, I'm pretty sure there's shit in there where it's like, if you use weapons, dude, like you're done.
Can you imagine someone throwing a pitch like a catcher's mitt at somebody?
Who was the dude that punched that Blue Jays player a few years ago? Several years
ago. I remember him.
It's like glasses flew off. You know what I mean? Like when he punched him. But every once in a while, like Nolan Ryan and Robin Ventura back in the day, when Robin Ventura charged Nolan Ryan and Nolan Ryan got him in a little headlock and just started like love tapping him. Like every once in a while you'll see a little bit in baseball, but it's not. Baseball typically is not a contact sport, right?
Yeah,
and
I like it when the umpires get into it. I just watched a video recently with the Mets and how an umpire called like a strike on somebody, and the Mets coach was like, "Oh, this isn't fucking fair," and the umpire was like, "I know it's not fair, but what the fuck you want me to do? I'm not the one who fucking called it." Actually, fun little fact. Wind Talker fact number 4. After the military, when I was trying to venture out and see what I wanted to do with my life, I actually looked into becoming a baseball umpire. And there was a lot of cool incentives, like the MLB paying for you and your family to stay in Daytona Beach for 8 weeks to do the training.
Interesting.
Yep. It was that you had to get whatever is like under minor, you need to get like hours like in little league, high school, and all that stuff. But that was but the thing is, I didn't have $4,000, so it never happened.
being an umpire or being a referee in any sport, it takes a measure of a certain type of person. I've umpired a little bit in baseball, like very, very little bit in baseball, and I've refereed a couple times with wrestling. It is not easy. You have to pay fucking attention. Like you cannot let your mind wander even for like half a second, because you will fucking miss something. You'll fucking miss it, and that's why that's why I only did it a couple times and I didn't fucking do it again, because it's like. Because it's one of those things where like you cannot let your attention waver. You have to just kind of stay laser focused on what's going on. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of easy to call balls and strikes. But when you're watching a play, if there's like a play at the plate, if there's a play on first base, shit like that, it's like it's not that easy. Yeah. When you're refereeing wrestling, you have to watch like all this fucking weird shit going on and make sure that fucking like you're in the right position. Because all it takes is your shoulder blades. You don't have to have your whole back on the ground to be pinned. It's just your fucking shoulder blades. So the dude could be fucking stacked up, with his like almost like his legs in the air with the other dude kind of on top of him.
Bending your fucking legs back if you want.
But as long as your fucking shoulder blades are on, that's a fucking pin. Like that's it. It's over.
It's the same thing with professional wrestling too.
Yeah, but if you're not in the right position to see that both shoulder blades are touching the fucking mat, you're not going to see it, right? And it's you have got to be like Johnny on the spot, and of course you have to be neutral. You can't be fucking, just because fucking you might know, the coach of this team or the coach of that team, or so and so's kid is on fucking this team, whatever. It's like you got to stay neutral as fuck. You know what I mean? Like that's it.
Well, I just want to say the greatest umpire of all time, Enrique Palazzo from The Naked Gun.
Oh yeah. 3. Hey. Yeah, starts moonwalking and shit. Like yeah.
You know what? That's another thing I gotta add on about MLB The Show. I know I've gotten balls and they've been counted as fucking strikes. So the realism on that shit is pretty accurate.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
so
that a lot.
we have we got 25. We got like 25 minutes. So, Sean, you had asked about getting some positive news and stuff, but I found weird news.
Oh.
And actually, I found the 10 strangest military news of, what is that, 2020? The 10 strangest and most ridiculous military stories of 2020.
That should be good.
But before we get into that, I can't believe I'm looking at this right now. I'm going to put it on the screen, and I'm going to screen share it with you guys so you can see what exactly is going on here. But in Daytona Beach, police officers said that about 8 a.m. Monday, a driver broke through a traffic arm before jumping the Main Street bridge that crosses the Halifax River.
Yes.
Looks like them Duke boys are back at it again.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, there's a couple things that go along with this video. I saw this when it first started getting reported. Broke through a swing arm, like the thing that you're supposed to stop in front of, right? Broke through that, so the dude's windshield is like shattered. And then there is a still frame photograph right before this dude crashed through that little swing arm gate or whatever, that shows him on his fucking phone.
Oh.
Like, dude was on his phone.
He was like taking a selfie.
No, he had it up to his ear.
Oh my God. That's even worse.
It's pretty obvious that he must have been pretty balls deep into a conversation, because he didn't stop. Like, he hit that swing arm, broke his windshield, and then he fucking just went for it. He was like, "Fuck it, YOLO."
Bet you he was talking to his buddy who said he wouldn't do it.
He said, "No balls, Manchester, you won't do it.
You won't do it. Hey, motherfucker."
This is another the last civilian.
Real quick, before you move on to the next one, so Dukes of Hazzard trivia. Do you know who the narrator for all the Dukes of Hazzard episodes were?
No.
Oh, I used to know this. God damn it. I used to know this.
The guy, when they would do the freeze frame, and about to go to the commercial or whatever.
Looks like them Duke boys at it again. Right? Yeah.
Waylon Jennings.
It was
Oh,
Waylon.
shit.
It was because Waylon Jennings sang the theme song too.
Good old boys. Yeah. Waylon.
That's fucking funny.
All right, next story.
This is the last civilian funny story that I got here. And I mean, didn't we just go through this a couple months ago? A New Hampshire gender reveal explosion rocks towns miles away.
Yeah, dude, let's see this shit.
So they don't have a video, unfortunately.
We're having a kid.
But from Schreiber News, the update on the April 22nd, Kingston police say approximately 80 pounds of tannerite.
I knew it was fucking tannerite. Fucking knew it was tannerite.
Were used at the gender reveal party that caused a massive explosion that shook homes for miles. Man who detonated it has turned himself into the police and is cooperating, but the police have not decided on the charges.
Jeez, man, 80 pounds. That kid's gonna be the Omen. If you don't know the Omen, that's the Antichrist. It's a movie from like the early 80s.
So what is tannerite? Yeah.
So okay. So I was gonna say for those of you guys that aren't familiar with what tannerite is legal to purchase, it's legal to own. It's not exactly an explosive, but when tannerite is impacted at high velocity, it will fucking explode.
So when you shoot it.
When you shoot it, basically with a bullet, it explodes.
Yeah.
It's very stable, but I mean, depending on where you're at in the States, it's pretty easy to purchase and it's pretty easy to fucking get. It just takes a high velocity impact to make it explode. So usually people will shoot it, and you can look up. There's a really funny YouTube video where a guy sets up a trap, basically like a feed trap for feral hogs, and he has like 10 pounds of tannerite, and he shoots this tannerite around this feed trap. There's like 8 or 9 hogs. You just watch hogs, like feral hogs, like flying everywhere, right? Like 80 pounds of tannerite is like,
man,
that's way too much. Way too, like literally like a quarter pound of that stuff will like blow the fuck out of like a TV set, or like,
videos of people putting like a junk car and a 1 gallon jug of tannerite, and it just decimated this car.
Yep.
Like just blew it the fuck up, and that's a 1 gallon jug of tannerite.
Yeah.
8 pounds?
8 pounds. 8 pounds, yeah.
They didn't burst their eardrum.
80 fucking pounds, yo.
Here's the thing that people forget about fucking explosions too, is overpressure. Everybody always fucking does, like, either doesn't know about or has never experienced overpressure. So like when an explosion happens, the airwaves change, right? Like the air in the space around us changes, right? Because of the detonation. And so if you're close enough to this shit, like you can fuck yourself up like super fucking bad. Like you blow out your fucking eardrums, it can fucking rupture internal organs. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of like you can get fucking CTE, like traumatic brain injury, from overpressure of if you're close enough to a fucking explosion. Like it's something that like and these people that obviously buy tannerite, right? Like some of them obviously are a little bit irresponsible with it. Yeah. 80 pounds is completely fucking unnecessary.
I'll give you a good example of what Jay's talking about. I got a buddy who on deployment, he was in the back seat of a Humvee. There was 3 guys in the back seat. It was my buddy Wilson on the left, his good friend in the middle, and whoever was on the right side in the back seat. And he hit an IED. All right. Nobody got any shrapnel injuries, but the guy in the middle died from the concussion. He was just dead because he happened to be in the right spot for those waves to just basically turn his innards into mush and killed him just like that. Wilson said after like the ears were done ringing and he got himself together, he looked and his buddy was just straight up dead right there. No blood, no nothing.
That's right. That's exactly right. There's
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's fucking crazy.
Because obviously we don't roll in Humvees anymore. We use MRAPs and Max Pros and stuff because they have the V-shaped hole, right?
Yeah.
And so on the bottom to help disperse some of the energy of explosions if you get blown up. But it's funny because even with these vehicles with V-shaped holes, we have these strips. We have these strips in the back seats along the floorboard where your feet are. So if you're sitting in the back, like kind of on the side of the vehicle in the back, there's these strips in red, and you are not supposed to put your feet on the red strip. And the reason is because that's where some of the portions of the V-shaped hole are. If you have like your foot sitting on that red strip, and say an explosion goes off underneath you, it'll fucking send that vibration like up. It'll like break your fucking leg basically, like just from having your foot in the wrong place on the floorboard. If you get blown up. So like that, like we specifically have like red strips in the back of our vehicles to show us like where not to put your feet. Like do not put your feet on those red strips. And that's it's all about energy disbursement and stuff like that. Like a lot of science stuff that I'm not exactly well versed in, but I know the science is correct, right? Like the science is right? So, yeah.
Well, it goes to show, and I think it's been a trend now that baby reveal parties have been very dangerous
stupid.
I mean, there was I know that there was a helicopter crash somewhere out west not too long ago when two helicopters crashed into each other because they were doing a reveal. Then I know in California there was a major explosion and all that stuff.
They started a forest fire. Was it last year or the year before?
Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah,
like fucking because of a fucking gender reveal party. Like it started a massive forest fire. Like people died. Like motherfuckers died. Like lost houses because I'm having a what because I did the same thing that like the last 1,000 generations have done. I fucking shot expert on the range like once in my life and now a forest fire started. Like why? I don't.
All right, so now with the military weird news. Now, of course, like the first thing you see, the Pentagon releases the UFO video and President Trump issues veiled threat.
What?
I don't remember that, but okay.
I know about the UFO video. What's the fucking veiled threat from Trump? Like, what does that mean?
It says, I will tell you this. We have now created a military, the likes of which we have never had before. In terms of equipment, the equipment we have, the weapons we have, and hope to God we never have to use it. But I think we will. But I have created the military, the likes of which nobody has ever had.
We've had that. We've already had that for like the last 3 decades.
Yeah. So anything
the technology is just only getting better. I mean, I don't know why they would even call that a veiled threat from Trump. Like that's not a veiled threat. That's like everybody has known since like the Gulf War, like 1990, 1991, that like we have shit that nobody even knows about, and when we fucking use it, like there's no escape.
Well, here's something that probably nobody knows about. North Korea has communist killer dolphins.
Oh.
That's a thing. That is definitely a thing. That is definitely a thing.
It says
we used to explosions on the bottlenose dolphins and try to train.
Holy shit!
Yeah, to hit the ships.
Yep. It says here a 2000 BBC report alleges that Iran purchased a fleet of dolphins from the former Soviet Union dolphin trainer. Those sea creatures were not only trained to seek out underwater mines, but also attack enemy frogmen who infiltrated harbors. The dolphins could also reportedly use suicide tactics to attack enemy ships with explosives. That's fucking crazy. And it also goes to show
we've been using animals for a long time, like World War I, World War II. Like this goes back a long time.
And between dolphins and octopuses, they're from what I've read, the smartest creatures around. Especially dolphins. Dolphins are the only other animal that have sex for pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
That is one of the few. That is one of the few.
They use, the statistic about we only use like 10% of our brain at one time.
Yeah.
Dolphins use their whole brain.
Shit.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, their brain is like bigger than ours.
Yeah.
If you look at like a human brain next to a dolphin brain, like they're huge.
So back in World War II, when we were trying to figure out how to beat Japan, because they had so much like intricate woodwork in their framing, their buildings and stuff, we tried to train bats to deliver firebomb type explosives, because we knew that if we drop a bunch of bats, what are they going to do? They're going to find a place underneath where they can hang and whatever. Right. But in the testing, it caused so much fire damage.
Wasn't working, right?
We can't keep like burning our shit down like this. We're trying to burn their shit down, and we're burning our shit down.
So little bit more on a more somber note. So this week, a submarine from Indonesia went missing. As of a few hours ago, the Indonesian military has officially declared that submarine sunk with no hope of survivors. They found some debris, which would indicate that there was a catastrophic implosion. Basically the submarine sank, and when you get to a certain depth, the water pressure. So for the Indonesian sailors that were lost, like fair winds and following seas. There were 53 souls aboard. So for those 53 members of the Indonesian military and their family, we're with you. Fair winds and following seas, sailors. Fair winds and following seas. So, yeah, sucks, man. That's why I'm not in the fucking Navy, dude. Like, No, thank you. No fucking thank you.
I like to look at the ocean, but I don't want to be in it.
I don't want to become another animal's like poo.
Mac.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like I'll pass, dude. I'll pass. I like the land. I like my feet on the land. Just saying.
All right, now number 4. I'm skipping a few too because some of them aren't even like worthy.
No,
Poland accidentally invades the Czech Republic.
Accidentally, huh?
Oh my God, are we gonna start with Polish jokes again? Like that was the thing when me and Sean were kids. When me and Sean were kids, like Polish jokes were a thing.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yep.
This is how it starts.
It says, one might think Poland, of all countries, would be incredibly sensitive to the idea of suddenly invading its neighbors. In June 2020, Polish troops prevented the local parishioners of the village of Pelhřimov from attending church services in a large gathering. With the global pandemic raging, one could hardly blame them, but there was just one problem. It isn't in Poland, it's in the Czech Republic. According to the Polish Foreign Ministry, the Polish soldiers made camp near the town months before the incident, believing they were sealing the border near the Polish village. Although the Polish troops quickly withdrew to their own border, the event was still a win for the Polish, joining other Polish victories with the circular firing squad and the submarine screen door.
Oh my fucking God! And they just use Polish jokes in the fucking. Oh come on!
And this is military.com. I'm getting this from too.
Dude, those the last two things you said. Those were old Polish jokes. I guess exactly. Yeah. God fucking damn it, dude! Come on. Boring.
Here comes another one. Adolf Hitler wins local election in Namibia.
For the write-ins, right?
Yeah, it says here, Adolf Hitler Unona ran successfully for consular of the Umpunja constituency in northern Namibia and had no idea of his infamous namesake. Unona went on by just his first name and last name until he entered the politics believing it was just a normal name. It wasn't until I was growing up that I realized this man wanted to subjugate the whole world. That had nothing to do with any of these things, he told the BBC.
What the fuck is wrong with that dude's parents? Like, who the fuck would name their?
They knew what was up.
Hitler is a, I don't want to say it's fairly common, but it's a common enough surname, But
so Adolf is pretty common.
But to put the two together after fucking World War II. Yeah. Come on, man.
It even says here, there comes a time in everyone's life when they realize their parents are just people, capable of making the same mistakes as anyone else. Then there's Adolf Hitler, Unona's father, who might have some explaining to do.
Yeah, or your parents are just fucking idiots, right? Yeah. Like, good God, man, come on. That's like, what did Elon Musk name his kid? Some unpronounceable fucking computer babble jargon bullshit. It's like, dude, you got too much fucking money. Like, what the fuck is that kid's name supposed to be?
Yeah. Gwyneth Paltrow and that guy from Coldplay named their kid Apple.
Apple? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, here's the thing with that. I'll give you some fucking hippie bullshit. If you want to name your kid some hippie bullshit, I'll give you that much. But how the fuck do you not know Adolf Hitler would be a bad name for a fucking kid, right?
Yeah. Well, the Apple thing wouldn't be so bad, but when you pair it with the fact that she made a vagina-scented candle that smelled like her vagina, not just random.
Well, no. It didn't smell like her vagina. It was called Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina, right? It was fucking, and so that's what sold it. It didn't actually smell like a vagina, right?
But, wonder how many. Never mind.
You know, Joaquin Phoenix, though, right? You know what his actual name is? It's Leaf.
Yeah.
Really? Leif, probably Leif.
Well, no, it's Leaf. His parents. No, they grew up in a cult. River Phoenix.
Yeah.
Phoenix was his brother, right? They were all. Their parents were they were in a cult, and they were it was like a fucking thing. They named all their kids super fucking hippie names,
Leaf, River, Moon, Stick, Rock.
Do you remember the
Dude, that's a badass name. I'm gonna name my kid Rock Phoenix.
There you go.
That's actually.
Do you remember the movie Space Camp?
Yeah.
Okay, Joaquin Phoenix was in that movie as a kid, but if you look at the case of that movie, It says Lee Phoenix.
I go by Joaquin too. I don't blame him.
That's exactly what he did. That is exactly what he did. That's exactly what he did.
There's some really wild names out there. Really wild names.
Yeah, but you know what's so funny about names though, man? Like I've got a really simple name. My name is Sean, S-E-A-N, good old Irish name. Last name is a palindrome, backwards and forwards, man. S-T-O-O-T-S. Stoots, like boots, like roots, like whatever. You would not believe the degree of which people have wholesale slaughtered both my names.
Right.
C-N, Sheen, Shane, and the last name, Streets, Stotts, Shoots, Shots.
I just call that a lack of literacy.
I agree 100%. 100%. But, dude, it's more common for people to mispronounce either of my names than it is for them to get it right. I'm surprised when someone says, like if I'm in a doctor's office and someone says, John Stoots, and I go, what? They got my name right?
That's how I feel when they spell my name without the H.
Everybody pronounces my last name correctly, but they misspell my last name all the time. And I'm like, how in the fuck do you misspell my name? Like you've been eating Campbell's soup like your whole fucking life. It's like Cambell, Campell, and I'm like, are you guys fucking all high? Like, did the whole world just go fucking insane? Like every town has a Campbell Street or a Campbell Avenue or fucking you grew up eating Campbell's soup. It's like it's a pretty well known name, right? Like fuck off with that bullshit. I need you guys to check your phone real quick, both of you, real quick for me. And I apologize, but that's where I'm at. So I apologize.
No, you're good. Oh shit.
He's
flipping over.
Yeah.
So we could finish it now, and we could get into the final. Is it final thought? There's always going to be weird.
That's going to be on you. I think that's you.
Yes, it is.
This weekend, brother.
So in the year 2020, I bet so many people got into their heads. We had the election. Everyone, coronavirus. There was so much division. So a lot of people, I would assume that there was a high percentage of people who got unfriended, blocked, broken relationships, and stuff like that. This week's message is to talk about, really thinking about time and really thinking about the things that you said back then, and kind of sit back and really think, was I wrong or was I right? Because there's going to come a time where it's going to come back. It's going to come back, and it's it's going to be like, hey, darkness, it's your boy again, and you got to face it, and you're either gonna face it negatively, or you're gonna face it positively. Every we're grown-ups, and a lot of us are children, and children are the future. So the only thing that we could do is influence the younger generations to do better, because that's all we want. We want to do better, and I feel like 2021 is going to be a big reflection year for a lot of people, and to come together and unite and realize, you know what? There's a lot of bullshit. Let's fix this. Also, every week, if you could see right above, was that my right? Yeah, over on the right, we have in the corner here, the suicide prevention hotline. We can't stress enough that 22 a day is way too much. One is way too much. We have to call somebody. We had, just last week we had a beautiful, a beautiful experience that Sean just had, about having someone call you, And
he answered the phone, and Sean answered the fucking phone.
Yes, he did.
That's what makes the difference a lot of times. Somebody answering their actual fucking phone. I cannot tell you guys how much I fucking despise that everybody has a phone in their pocket, and when that fucking shit rings off the hook, or I get hit with like the fuck you button, in the age of technology, it's like, you know what, motherfucker? Like, I remember being like in the 1980s and 90s when we had phones attached to cords on the wall. It's like you didn't want to let the phone ring off the hook, like because you didn't know who the fuck it was. Yeah. And it's like when somebody hits the fuck you button on you, or they don't answer their fucking phone, it's like what a dick. Answer your fucking phones, people. Answer your fucking phones.
Exactly. If you're in a crisis, call 1-800-273-8255. Again, 1-800-273-TALK. 8255. If you don't want to talk to them, you could text them. You could go on your computer and you could write. If you don't want to call someone, text somebody. Write to them on Facebook. Write to us. Say, hey, you're having a bad day. We all have bad days. It's only up to us to make it better. We have to do better.
You know what? One thing to throw into there. If you're in our DD214 group on Facebook, we've got an open page and we've got a private group. And if anybody is in that private group that had like an issue like we're talking about, they're really second guessing their existence, make a post in that private group, and I guarantee you will get the support that you need, guaranteed.
If you guys, if there's anybody listening out there right now, I'm on our group as Jay Campbell. Look up Jay Campbell. Send me a private message. I will shoot you my personal phone number, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Absolutely.
So I have no problem, giving out my phone number. I will talk to anybody anytime.
Absolutely. And our Facebook message.
Dealt with this shit like way too much already. I'm 40 years old, and going to funerals is getting fucking old. I'll tell you what, like I get that the older we get, the more people we're gonna outlive. That's part of life. That kind of happens kind of naturally. But outliving people that are 10 or 15 years younger than me has gotten real fucking old lately. It's gotten real fucking old lately. So that's all I can say about that.
Yep. Live to fight another day, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Live to fight another day. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us. We love you. And drink water.